Right, guys, this is it. I'm back. Maybe for a week, maybe for a bit longer. Don't really know yet. I know I've said this all before. I do have intentions of doing other things. I do have intentions of making a website, doing blogs, as well as the prediction videos. But I figured I might as well get the ball rolling and do prediction videos for this weekend. I'm going to do Premier League and Championship, but they will be on separate videos. So for Saturday the 11th, starting off with Chelsea against Hull. It's a tough one to call, really. It doesn't look like it because of obviously the league positions. Chelsea are doing very well in the league. The form, you can't really argue against the form. They beat Southampton 3-0 at St Mary's in the last fixture. But Hull are a good team at home, especially at home, as they proved when they scored 6 past Fulham. It's a tough game for Chelsea. I think they will get through it. I think Chelsea win all the way. But I wouldn't be too surprised if it did end in a draw, or even if Hull managed to nick it. Moving on quickly, because I don't actually know if YouTube has any time limits now. So moving on, Cardiff, West Ham. If Malcolm Mackay was still at Cardiff, it probably would be an easier choice for me to say Cardiff. But he's not. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a good manager. He's proved that when he won the league title in Norway. And West Ham are so out of form. They conceded 5 goals against Nottingham Forest. So they're a good team, but they're still a Championship team. And Forest didn't even field the strongest team they could, and scored 5. So that's a warning for Championship teams as far as Forest go. But at the same time, West Ham should be looking at themselves, and Adrian probably should be signing on, because I don't know how he's a goalkeeper. I think I could, Big Sam. If you do decide to watch this video, which I don't know why you would, but if you do, give me a pair of gloves. I'll go and goal. Give me like 300 quid a week or something. I'm more than winning. I'll probably save more shots than him as well. So it's win-win really. You save some money, and I might actually keep a clean sheet once in a while. To the point in hand, Cardiff win. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer won his first game in charge, so you can't really look past Cardiff. Everton against Norwich. It's as simple as Everton are brilliant at home and Norwich aren't great away. Everton win. Fulham and Sunderland. It's a tough game for both teams. They both need to win it, and it's inevitably going to end in a draw, for the simple reason that they both need to win it so badly. They'll both be so tentative. I know a lot of Sunderland fans are going to say, well, we beat Man United. You did. You also beat Chelsea and then failed to capitalise in the next league game. I know a couple of lads who are Sunderland fans, and they say it's the same situation. You can pick yourselves up for the games against teams like Manchester United and Chelsea and City, but when it comes to the nitty-gritty of the teams that are around you, Norwich, West Brom, you just don't perform at the same level, and inevitably you don't get the result that you need. So I'm going to pick a draw for that game, sit on the old fence. Southampton against West Brom. Again, I've picked a draw for this, for the simple reason Southampton aren't in the best form. I know they've played some big teams recently, but they're not in the best form. And once you get into the mentality of not winning, you see the teams struggle. A lot of the time, you'll see teams who start the season badly, and everyone will say, "Oh, it's because they've had a difficult start. They've played the Big Four or whatever." But then they go on to continue to play badly and not win games. West Brom have not lost in the last 4. I think they've got 1 win and quite a few draws since Steve Clarke was fired, and I think this is going to be another draw for him. Tottenham against Crystal Palace. Spurs are amazing under Sherwood in terms of attacking, in terms of being, watching them. They're undefeated. They've got 3 wins. They've beat United, which, yeah, they're not in the greatest form, but beating United is still a pretty big scalp. Having said that, Crystal Palace, they only conceded 1 against City, who are the goal scoring team in the league. So it's not going to be a pushover for Spurs. It's going to be a tough game. I think Tony Pulis will have his team ready, and they will be more than up for the game. But again, I'll pick Spurs, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was a draw, or if Crystal Palace managed to win it. And And the last game, the evening game, is Manchester United against Swansea, which was played in the Cup fairly recently, which obviously Swansea won. But the thing is, Manchester United in the league I think they're about fourth in the form table. David Moyes has just been nominated for Manager of the Month in the league. They've lost 3 games in a row, including that one against Spurs, the one against Swansea, and then they lost to Sunderland. So I've mentioned all 3. There's a lot of pressure on David Moyes, and I'm not sure he is actually the right man to take Manchester United forward. But at the same time, you have to think that Manchester United are still a team of great players, and as much as I would love to pick Swansea, I can't see him doing United twice in a couple of weeks. So I've picked Manchester United, but again, I do actually genuinely hope that Swansea do beat them. Not that I'm biased or anything. On to the Sunday, you've got Newcastle against Manchester City, the City Machine. Manchester City, they're the form team in the league. They've scored so many goals. They've picked up their away form, which was the big concern at the start of the season. Newcastle were amazing for a period of time. I think they won 6 or 7 games in a row or something like that. And they certainly knocked off a few big teams. Chelsea, I seem to remember. But that's come to an end recently. They've lost 2 in a row now. And I'm afraid it's going to be 3 in a row, because I can't see anybody really stopping City at the moment. I'm picking Manchester City. Stoke against Liverpool. Liverpool have lost 2 of the last 3, but City and Chelsea, there's no shame in losing to either of those. Stoke at home are actually very good. They've not lost in 6 games to my knowledge, possibly more. But when Luis Suarez is playing, how he is playing, you can't really pick any team that's got Luis Suarez. I couldn't pick against, so it's like a one-man team at times, and that's why I'm picking Liverpool to win. And the Monday night football is Arsenal going away to Aston Villa. The start of the season, I think everyone remembers when Villa won 3-1 at the Emirates, and it was the end of Arsenal's season, and Wenger was going to get fired. That turned out well, didn't it? Villa are still struggling despite that win at the start of the season. Arsenal have won 3 games in a row now. Again, they will fall away inevitably, in my opinion. Can Villa beat them this weekend? Arsenal are struggling for strikers, but I think somebody will chip in with the goal, and they'll win it 1-0 or 2-1. I think the striker issue will become more of an issue when they face teams like Manchester City, Manchester United, the bigger teams who are going to be bossing the game more. Arsenal are going to have a lot of possession against Aston Villa, and I think that's what will eventually start to tell them. Somebody will pop up with a goal.